Good morning. I want to talk to you about what does eating do for you. And so this is a video for people who overeat. This is a video of people who eat sugar or eat too much sugar, who drink sodas, who do all the things that cause harm to our bodies. And I am just on this journey of trying to improve, trying to grow. And I got a lot of questions, right? I am looking at why is it that I would drink soda, Coke in particular, and I know the damaging effects that it has on my body. Why? Why would I intentionally poison my body, right? Because drinking a soda or eating sugar is a choice. Why would I intentionally do that knowing that these things that I put in my body cause hypertension, diabetes, and on and on and on? Why would I intentionally do something to hurt myself? Why would I, when I don't want to have my limbs amputated? That's not appealing to me. So why is it that I continue to do the things that I'm doing? And I believe that my body is a temple of God. I believe that He put me in this body. This body has carried me. He gave me this body to live my time out here on earth in, and I want to take care of it. But why is it that I continue to do things that are not good for me? Why? And so it's my question. It's my I am considering, like, why. This is research for me. It's just kind of like, why do we do things that hurt our bodies? Smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, vaping. Why do we do these things? And I'm talking to myself, right? I'm just saying, I'm trying to figure it out for me. Why is it that we do things that hurt ourselves on a regular basis? Why do we know we need to be doing X, but we don't do it every single day? We let every day go by and we don't work out. We let every day go by and we don't drink the water. We don't. Some of it is. So I've been watching myself. I've been studying myself. I've been just trying to figure this thing out. When I go to eat something that is not good for me, let's just say, for example, candy. I'm looking at, okay, what happens when I want to eat this candy? Why am I eating this candy? What does it do for me? Is it something I reach for? Is it a temporary satisfaction? Is it um because I need something to put in my hands? Is it the taste? Is it boredom? Is it overwhelm? Is it frustration? So I'm trying to figure out for myself, why am I eating this candy when I shouldn't? My doctor has told me not to eat this candy. He has put me on metformin, 1,000 milligrams a day. Why am I doing this? Because if you know anything about metformin, metformin is, it is tough on your body, right? Especially if you're eating things that you don't need to be eating. And so, is it a lack of self control? Do I have this self control that I am not, that I'm letting my body control me and I'm not controlling my body? It is, when I think about what does eating do for me, you could put anything in the blank, right? You can put overeating in the blank. Why do I overeat? Why do I shop when I shouldn't be shopping? Why am I gambling when I shouldn't be gambling? Why am I gossiping? Why do we do these things that bring us harm, that harm us, that's not good for us? Why do we do these things? And then, looking at why, what's the, because, I can say all day, I'm going to stop eating sugar, but the reality is, I need to look at the root cause. Like, what is it? What need am I trying to satisfy? And then anything else. What feelings am I having? What am I exhibiting? Is it unfulfillment? Is it doing something that I don't want to do? Is it things that are people abusing me, mistreating me? Am I fearful? Like, what is it? What is the root cause? And then where did it come from? Like, what did this stem from? Something else? And so you got to be looking at, this is a serious topic. It doesn't matter if it's eating, overeating, eating sugar, shopping, gambling. It don't matter what it is, lying. If it is something that's doing harm to you in your life, it is something that you have to evaluate. And that's where I am. I am looking at, what do I have to change? Why haven't I already changed? Like, why, when I reach for the candy, I know my doctor says you don't need to eat that. I know that it's putting extra weight on me. I know that something is happening beneath the surface. I know that things in my life need to change. But why haven't I changed them? Why? Like, what is happening? Like, I think that, we are, deceive ourselves when we know something and we don't do something different and we expect for things to change. And we have to be asking ourselves a hard question. So I've just been looking at this and I've been looking at, okay, when I eat candy, is it something to do? Is it something to grab? Is it something? So I noticed that when I eat dinner, if it's not something that's appealing to my taste buds, I typically eat something sugar. And it is, I think, a temporary satisfaction. I think it's because I wasn't happy with the food that I ate. And I think so we have to put food or whatever it is, shopping or whatever it is, in its proper place. And two, we have to change the meaning that we give that thing. And so I think that I realized that eating sugar or drinking soda keeps me from feeling. It keeps me from seeing things that I don't want to see. It keeps me from feeling feelings that I don't want to feel. Whatever that looks like, whether it's disappointment, whether it's shame, whether it's fear, whether it's frustration, whether it's overwhelm. I think there's some overwhelm that is, not knowing what to do or not wanting to take the actions that I know I need to take. It keeps me thinking about how terrible things are at certain points in my life. I think eating sugar gives me something that I'm in control of. So I think you have to look at how is it that you don't feel in control, that this temporary action, maybe it's buying something on Amazon, that it makes you feel in control for that temporary second, and then you go back to feeling not in control again. And so you have to look at where did this come from? Why do you not feel in control? And then how can you take control of your life? It's about making different decisions. And the same thing, I'm talking to myself. It's the same thing. And it says, when I think about eating sugar, it makes me feel like I just keep messing up. I just keep failing. And so what I do know is that I can learn from this experience. I can dig deeper for myself and ask myself, why am I overeating? Why am I eating this sugar? It's basically, why am I putting poison in my body? And it's just like, what I think about is, and you have to go to extreme. When you're doing something that you don't need to be doing, when you're doing something that's causing harm to you or your family, you got to go to the extreme. And I just think about, I wouldn't eat rat poison. I wouldn't drink pine sol. You get what I'm saying? And I'm being facetious, but I am so serious about this that it's certain things I wouldn't put in my body because I know it's going to kill me, right? If I eat rat poison, or if I eat, I drink pine sol, I drink gasoline, I know it's going to kill me, right? But the same thing is happening. It's just in slow motion, right? When I eat sugar, it's going to kill me. It's just in slow motion and I say it's in slow motion, but I don't know how it would affect me on what level, because the reality is, if you overeat, if your body doesn't process sugar, or you consume too much sugar, your body's going to have to work harder and you will be a diabetic. And the worse that you are as a diabetic, it affects everything. It affects your vision. You could have limbs amputated, and on and on and on. It's going to affect your body, give you heart failure, chronic kidney disease, all the things, right? And that's what I'm telling myself. I'm like making a case to myself that this there's nothing good that's going to come from eating sugar. There's nothing good that's going to come from eating fried foods. Nothing. But I continue to do it. And I get it, right? You can eat the cookie, right? By the shoes, as Joyce Meyer says. I get that, right? I think there's some things you have to do in moderation, though. There's some things that you can't do if it's gonna kill you. You just got to make a decision, like, do I want to die? And this is one thing too that stands out for me. And you got to pile up those whys. You got to be thinking about, how can I change? What do I have to do to change? And one of the things for me is, I don't want anybody making decisions for me about my health. I don't want anybody pushing me around in a wheelchair. I just don't want that. I don't want that life for myself. And so I got to change. And so sometimes I think we wait too late to change. Sometimes when we want to change, it's too late. Sometimes we don't make the decision, and the decisions are made for us by the food that we're eating. And I think sometimes doctors can get exhausted with us. They can get tired of telling us the same thing. Like, you need to stop doing this. You need to stop smoking. You need to stop drinking alcohol. You need to stop eating this sugar. You need to stop overeating. You need to bag up from this table and get your butt out there and walk. It's just, but you got to tell yourself the truth. You got to ask yourself the hard questions. And my question is, why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you doing this to your body? If you don't want anybody to control you, if you don't want nobody to make decisions for you, if you don't want to have an amputated limb, if you don't want to be pushed around in a wheelchair, pushed around a wheelchair, if you don't want that for yourself, if you want to live a long, healthy, good life, to be example for your children, you got to exhibit some self-control. So how does that happen? Like, what are you're just questioning things. You're like digging deeper inside of yourself and asking yourself the needs that what are you missing? What are your needs? What is it that you need to change? What in your life is making you run to things that you feel like you can control, which is eating, and other things in your life you feel like you can't control. And some of it is, it's the crucial conversations that we can't have. We're not ready. We don't want to have them. It's too hard. We're afraid we're going to hurt people. But we don't think about, we need to hurt people. I mean, we need to speak the truth in love so we can stop hurting ourselves. We need to think about ourselves as much as we're thinking about other people in regards to saying what needs to be said, saying what needs to be said, doing what needs to be done. And so I realized that food is a distraction. And I have to give myself a chance to feel my emotions, whatever that is. If it's sadness, that I give myself a chance to pause and feel sadness. Whatever it is that I'm feeling. If it's jealousy, I got to question that thing and figure out, why do I feel jealous? Why do I feel envy? Why do I feel bitter? Why do I have unforgiveness? Whatever it is. And we can dress that thing up, right? We can say all the things that we're not. And we can miss out on the things that we're really doing, like, whatever it is. So we just got to be asking ourselves the hard questions. I think about this for myself. Overeating, eating sugar is a downward spiral. And I'm looking at my notes in case you're wondering. And then one thing is that I use every chance I can to eat instead of heal. And I have to work it in reverse. I got to use every chance to heal instead of eat. I got to run to the word of God when I want to eat something. And so that he can fill me. He can be fulfillment to me. He can fill the empty spaces, that he can satisfy every need for me, that I can run to him and know that he's giving me a way out of every temptation. He's giving me a way out. When I want to reach for the honey bun, he's giving me a way out. I just didn't choose it. I just ignored it. I didn't pay attention. And so you got to be asking yourself the hard questions. And I think about, I have to make it real for myself, like the effects of the sugar on my body. And with excess sugar, or sugar in general, I'm gonna say excess sugar for this point, is that it will affect your body. You're gonna gain weight, your body parts gonna hurt. And I get that we have pain in our bodies as we age, but I'm talking about your body gonna experience some different types of hurt because you overeat. And so you got to be paying attention to, how is this affecting my body? How is this affecting my mind? How is this affecting my spirit? If I overeat, I eat this sugar and I shouldn't. I drink 2 sodas and I shouldn't. I drink 1 soda and I shouldn't. How is this affecting me? And then 2, the one thing that really weighs heavy is, how can I come back from this? How can I get off the metformin? How can I make better choices? And it's easier said than done, right? I can stand here all day long and say, this conversation is about me and for me. I can say all day long, you ought to not do it because you know it's wrong. But the reality is, there are millions of diabetics in the world. There are millions of diabetics in the U.S. There are millions of people that are living with hypertension. There are millions of people that live with chronic kidney disease, that their doctor had this same conversation with them. You need to lose weight. You need to stop overeating. You need to stop eating sugar. The same conversation. And sometimes we've heard a dozen times, doctors have told us year after year, you need to stop. You need to stop gaining weight. You need to lose weight. You need to get out and walk every single day. You need to get, 40 minutes of exercise, an hour of work exercise every single. They tell us over and over again. And we live in oblivion thinking that I don't have to do anything and it's going to change. I could just hope and wish and pray that I'm going to change and things going to change. I could just hope and pray and don't have to do nothing. But the reality is, we can pray, but we're going to have to do some work too. We're going to have to make some decisions. We're going to have to make some hard decisions. We're going to have to dig deeper and figure out what is causing us to cause intentional harm to our bodies. And that's what we do when we overeat, when we smoke, when we drink alcohol, all the things. We got to be asking ourselves, why? Why am I doing something to hurt myself every single day? Why am I taking in this poison? I wouldn't drink gasoline because it don't make sense, right? And so I have to talk to myself like this, right? And so if I wouldn't drink gasoline because I know I'm gonna die, I I can't eat sugar because I the sugar gonna kill me too, you know. And so you just gotta be asking yourself, why? Why am I doing this? What is happening? What do I need to address? What do I need to fix? What's missing? What can I do different? How can I change my habits? What habits need to be changed? You know, am I intentionally doing some of this stuff like, you know, buying sugar? If you want to stop eating sugar, stop buying it. That's one thing, right? But there's other things because I mean, you know, I work in a where I work there is a place that has sugar readily available, right? And most of us can get it pretty conveniently. So you have to have some self control. You got to be figuring out for yourself what's happening, what is really happening in my life, and what do I need to change. You know, if it's a different job, if it's a different relationship, if it's setting boundaries, is it forgiving, whatever it is for you, you know, what is it? Do I need to release something in my past that's I'm dragging into my present and my future? And then more importantly, if I continue on this road, I'm gonna be somewhere I don't want to be. And so I got to be looking at the changes I need to make, the things I need to do differently, how I can help other people, how I can help myself, how I can be intentional every single day. If I know I'm gonna reach for something, you know, can I reach for a scripture? Can I reach for water? Can I reach for prayer? Can I meditate on? I love these 2 feet that carry this body. I want to keep them until I die, you know? So you just got to be looking at it for yourself. And I think in everything we got to be grateful that we have bodies that carry us, and I think we have to be grateful that we can take care of these bodies. We can overcome whatever it is, these things that we have, these vices that we have. We can overcome and we can change them. It's one decision at a time, one day at a time. It's making a decision. It's committing every single day. It's doing the hard work. It's figuring out why you do things that you don't need to do, that you don't want to do. It's just doing it every single day, and then having a good attitude about it, knowing that, believing and expecting yourself to change, believing and expecting that you're gonna do something different, and then taking all the steps that you can. Stop buying the sugar, stop buying the cigarettes, stop buying the alcohol. It's you know, can I drink water? Can I take a walk? Can I journal? Can I pray? Can I meditate? Can I breathe? Can I do whatever I need to do to handle this stress? Or whatever it is that's causing things in my life to happen. How can I change? So I hope this will help you. This is my journey. I'm just taking it one day at a time. And I invite you to take it one day at a time. And if you're committed to doing it, tell me in the comments that you're committed to changing. You're committed to doing something different. You're committing to letting go of something that's no longer serving you.